gonna stop tonight. I've lost another fight. I still mess up, but I'll just start again. I keep falling down. I keep hitting on the ground. Always get up now to see what's next. Birds don't just fly, they fall down and get up. Nobody learns without getting it won. I won't give up, no, I won't give in till I reach the end, and then I start again. I'm on the lead, I wanna try everything, I wanna try even though I could fail. I won't give up, no, I won't give in till I reach the end. Then I start again. No, I won't leave. I wanna try everything. I wanna try even though I could fail. Oh, 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 oh. 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 Try everything. Try everything. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, 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 oh. Birds don't just fly, they fall down and get up. Nobody learns without getting it won. I won't get up, no, I won't give in till I reach the end. Then I start again. No, I'm on the lead. I wanna try everything. I wanna try even though I could fail. I won't give up, no, I won't give in till I reach the end. Then I start again. No, I won't leave. I wanna try everything. I wanna try even though I could fail.
Good morning, Yaron.
Good morning.
What a wonderful song to kick off our Sunday morning celebration.
Thank you. It's from a movie called Zootopia with talking animals. Does it get better than that?
No, it doesn't. Great talking animals. Weren't we all animals in some sense or fashion? So, well, thank you
Totally.
so much. Those are great lyrics. It's most appropriate to kick off this day, and I love the backdrop that you have for us. I think
In the
we see any
jungle.
minute Zootopia animals are going to come flying behind you. So, thank you. Thank you for setting the tone for us today. Good morning, everyone. My name is Keith Cox, and I am Reverend Dr. Keith Cox. I am the spiritual leader here for the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles. And happy last Sunday of November, and happy Thanksgiving to each and every one of you. I trust and know that you had a wonderful holiday, no matter how you chose to celebrate it. And in the opportunity that we all had before us this last week in the United States and beyond, where we celebrated Thanksgiving, to take a moment and to remember just the simple act of gratitude in and of itself is transformative, and how blessed we all are to have life itself. And so if you're joining us today via Zoom and or Facebook Live or later, it's a real honor and a privilege to have you here with us today, and want to just say hello to each and every one of you as the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles community and beyond. We'd like to begin this morning by reminding each and every one of us, as the quote says on the screen, you are a gift to the world, to everyone whose life you touch. Your soul is eternally blessed with love and light. You know the truth of your being, and you'll always be the gift that keeps on giving. Just as Yaron just shared with us, that we want to try everything in life, meaning that we are here to express the innate nature of life that is within us, and to use our unique power that we have as expressions of the only thing that there is, in a way to propagate good in our life, to live in a sense of love, both that human love and the spiritual love that I'll be speaking of a little bit later this morning. So I invite you to take a deep breath in, to anchor and settle yourself in for the next hour or so, and just give yourself permission to let go of any angst or disturbance or discord that may be in your heart, your mind, your soul, or your being. And just allow the presence and the power of spirit to be present within you and to provide a space for personal growth in a way that allows you to remember who you are. As a community, we come together each and every Sunday morning and have for a little over 30 years to do just that, to provide a safe space for each one of us to remember who we are. And in that journey, we welcome all races, all ethnicities, all religions, all countries of origin, all gender identities, all sexual orientations, all abilities and disabilities, for we honor and welcome all spoken languages, all ages, and indeed, we welcome everyone. And so I'd like to welcome you in to this time that we share together, and let's affirm together as our beloved founding minister would share with us each and every Sunday morning as it pops on the screen. We welcome one and we welcome all. So, who are we as a community known as the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles? We're a community that teaches primarily the philosophy and faith and way of life known as the science of mind. If you were to take the essence of this teaching, the belief is that there is only one activity taking place in life, one energy, if you will. We like to call that energy God, but it can also be called the thing itself, a higher power, a divine being, you, me, or any other name that you would like to call it. But because what we call it doesn't really matter, but what matters is that we have a conviction and faith in it that its nature is good. As individualizations of that nature, we too are good. And the more and more that we call it, reflect it, express it, the more and more that we get to experience it, because we live in a universe that is governed by spiritual law, meaning that we bring back into our field of experience. The term you hear oftentimes is manifest or demonstrate that which is in our consciousness, and it shows up in form, so that we get to look into our outer world, the physical world, the world that we experience, and it's a reflection of what we know ourselves to be, both as a divine being and how we show up as a human expressing our divinity. That is indeed what we practice here. And so the essence of that then is manifested as a community as we fulfill our vision for each and every individual as they fulfill it for themselves. Our vision statement is supporting individuals finding their personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. Today, as we come together in this wonderful setting of technology that provides us the opportunity to come together during these most unique times on our planet, we come together for the sole purpose of us to remember who we are as divine beings and to have a service together through music and affirmative prayer and a message that is shared with us so that we can remember who we are, and in so doing find a bit more of that spiritual awakening that we all seek to know as beings of light, and in so doing allowing that to provide us with a sense of personal self-empowerment. So before we move further, I would like to introduce to you our guest musician this morning. She's such a delightful being. She's been with us before. Unfortunately, I was not there the Sunday in person. Shira Averbuch, who is joining us, Shira Averbuch, who is joining us this morning from Barcelona, Spain. Shira, good morning.
Hola. No, hi.
Hola. Well, it's so wonderful to have you here with us this morning. Evening for you, as it's 9 or 10 p.m. there, correct?
Right now it's 7, but it feels
7.
like 9 or 10 with the time difference and time change and all of that.
Well, you certainly are bringing your unique self of life and your wonderful gift of music to us today. And I can't wait for our community to get to experience that through some of your original music later on, and just to be in the presence of the light that you have that shines from you. So thank you for emanating that light with us today.
Thank you. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. You're so welcome. So we begin our service every Sunday morning with a ritual. That ritual is called calling in the light. And so this morning, as we begin that ritual of calling in the light, I invite you in the privacy of your own location to See on the screen or in your own mind's eye the illumination of a candle. And let's remember together that as we perform this ceremony today, we do so to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence that we call spirit. And the purpose is to draw into this gathering a conscious awareness of our oneness and the qualities that we each possess as complete expressions of the divine. We see on the screen today the Sanskrit chant of Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And as we chant that in our mind or in the privacy of our own home, it's believed that this vibrational frequency of Om and the word Shanti, when put together, invokes peace in mind and soul, peace in thought and intention, peace in speech and action, peace in me and you, peace in oneness. And let's each take a moment and reflect on the oneness of life itself. We're so blessed this morning to have our musician, Shira, join us from Barcelona, which is a reminder to us of humanity and life that exists in various different locations on this beloved planet, Mother Earth. And that we're each connected in a manner of interconnectedness that is transcendent of the physical realm. And so through that connection, we have the ability to create and invoke and cause change of both peace in mind and soul, peace in thought and intention, peace in speech and action, peace in me and you, peace in oneness. And so as Yaron takes us through our song, Let There Be Peace on Earth, the lyrics will come on the screen. And I invite you to sing along, remembering that the vibration of music and song and voice indeed has a ripple effect around the world and ignites within all of oneness the vibrations that exist within us to be reflected back to us. Your own.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow to take each moment and live each moment with peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And so in the vein of feeling the peace that exists in this moment, I affirm for each of us a greater awareness of the opportunity that we have within us to not only be the peace, but to acknowledge and affirm it for all walking planet Earth. That we choose to let this be the moment. Let today be the day. That we let go of anything and everything that is contrary to peace in our mind, heart, soul, and being. And choose to use our energy and our power, our thoughts and our beliefs and our actions and reactions and interactions in a new way today. Remembering the acronym for peace of purposeful energy activates conscious evolution, we choose today that with every breath we take, to make this our solemn vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace, purposefully, using our energy to activate conscious evolution eternally. Affirming that peace begins on earth right now, and it begins with me, each one of us, the I am of the I am. And so we let the law of life do its part as it always is, as we consciously and purposefully and intentionally do ours. Affirming all is well as we say together, amen, and so it is. Thank you, Yaron, and thank you to each of you. So you've already had the opportunity to meet via technology our guest musician today, Shira. She has the most wonderful song to share with us today, a unique personal composition of her own. And I'd like to invite her to the screen right now, Shira, to sing that for us. So Shira, would you like to tell us a little bit about the song and what
Yeah,
caused you to write it and knowing you wanted to share it with us today?
yeah. So this song is called Usually, and it's about that moment when you know something good is about to happen, but you don't have quite the proof for it yet. And I had to hold on to that feeling for the past 6 months until I was finally united with my partner, who is from here, from Barcelona, and I'm from New York. And we were separated because of travel bans and all of that. And we're definitely not the only ones going through this. And I had to hold on to that for 6 long months. And this song is about that.
Great, thank you. Can't wait to hear it.
Thank you. Usually I know when something good's about to happen. Usually I can tell by the curling of my toes. I let this feeling wash over me. I hold on to the tail of this flyaway bird. It's almost time to cut the cord. Usually I know when something good's about to happen. Even Mr. Sun shines brighter for a moment. And from my window the sky is kissing every rooftop, and everything I've longed to say for so long is on the tip of my don't let fear kick in. It's just trying to make your bright light disappear. When you least expect it, every drop of rain is gonna take you high. Go ahead and try, don't let it pass you by. Usually I know when something good's about to happen. Usually I can tell by the curving of the road. And in my city, the colors of the streets are changing from barren trees to blooming fields. I rise, and I can't believe my don't let fear kick in. It's just trying to make your supposed to be. Don't let fear kick in. It's just trying to make your bright light disappear. When you least expect it, every drop of rain is gonna take you high. Just go ahead and try. Don't let fear kick in. It's just trying to make your bright light disappear. When you least expect it, every drop of rain is gonna take you high. Just go ahead and try. Don't let it pass you by.
Oh, so beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you. I just love your passion and your pure energy of spirit. It's so wonderful. So, and thank you for listening to Spirit and let it guide you to write that song. That song, the lyrics are so profound and such a great lesson for each one of us who just, what was the lyric of I'm right where I'm supposed to be?
If I go, then I'll know I'm right where I'm supposed to be.
Got it. Boy, the ultimate statement of living in faith. It really
Mm-hmm.
is. So it is. Well, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just thank you. I look forward to having you share your other song with us after my message. So thank you. Just such a joy to have you here with us today, Shira. So
Thank you so
see you in
much.
just a bit, okay?
See you in a minute.
Okay. So just such a delightful young lady and such a great message that she has for us. And so as I kick into my message for us this morning, um, the message that I have for us this morning, which I'm going to use the multimedia presentation today, which we haven't really done all month in the month of November, to stimulate us to remember how to use our power, just as Shira shared with us in the lyrics of her song, that the song titled Usually. And so wonderful to hear those again of usually I know when something's good about to happen. Usually I can tell by the curling of my toes. I let this feeling wash over me. I hold to the tail of this flyaway bird. It's almost time to cut the cord. For usually I know when something's good about to happen. Even Mr. Sun shines brighter for a moment, and from my window, the sky is kissing every rooftop. And everything I've longed to say for so long is at the tip of my. Don't let fear kick in. It's just trying to make your bright light disappear when you least expect it. Every drop of rain is going to take you high. Go ahead and try. Don't let it pass you by. This lyrics are telling us to stay present in the mind of the divine that we have. And as we're living through these most unique times of this virus, of this pandemic of COVID-19, when life seems to be so uncertain, to not buy into the virus of the fear virus as it shows us on the screen, to look at that fear and kick the fear in the rear, to use the power that we have of the ability to use our mind in a way to not live as a result of circumstances, but to remember that we're a co-creator in the life that we experience, being part of the cause to the experiences that we have in our life. So therefore we should run towards our good. Good, not just in that experiential aspect of life where we set things up as good or bad, but good in the remembrance that the term good itself is a synonym for the word God. As I spoke of earlier, this word God that we speak of in this teaching, philosophy, faith, and way of life, is an impersonal, omniscient, omnipresent energy. It's the creator of all life, which you and I individualize, and we get to experience that energy to the degree that we become conscious of it. In other words, how we choose to think and act and react and interact with the very thing itself gives us and provides us the opportunity to reflect back to ourselves, our understanding, our conscious awareness of the thing itself, and as we embody it. So you and I get to run towards our good from this moment forward. Well, how do we do that? In the great teachings of the Course in Miracles, it tells us there are two things that are always happening in life that we get to turn to. One is fear, the other is love. This particular teaching, A Course in Miracles, works by helping the individual, much like the teachings of the Science of Mind do, to shift your mindset so that you can undo fear and step into love. Is what it's all about. And to remember that our thoughts create our reality, and therefore, if we can shift these thoughts from fear to love, then our reality will change. To choose to shift our thoughts from fear to love, then our life will change. Well, love in this moment isn't love that we're speaking of in the human element. It's by choosing to make choices to reflect love from a spiritual perspective, that which is called the agape love. In the book, The Science of Mind, that is written by Dr. Ernest Holmes and is referenced and is the foundation that we practice here in the Center for Spiritual Living in Los Angeles, love is defined as the self-givingness of the spirit through the desire of life to express itself in terms of creation. Emerson tells us that love is a synonym for God. We are also told in the New Testament that he that loveth not knoweth not God, for God is love. That love is free from condemnation. But let's look back for a second on the Science of Mind definition. Love is the self-givingness of the spirit through the desire of life to express itself in terms of creation. It does this no matter what's going on in the world because it's impersonal. It isn't of an individual mind, therefore it isn't based in personality or thought. It just responds to us impersonally. Therefore, as we reflect its nature to create more of itself out of itself, because its desire is to magnify the very thing that it is. So you and I get to choose as to how we want to express that energy that exists within us. Do we choose to live in fear, or do we choose to live in love? Remembering that choices create chances, and choices create changes. So today I invite you and I to open our mind to ask ourselves, are we living in fear or are we living in love? The great teacher of the teachings, The Course in Miracles, Marianne Williamson, quoted in her book From a Return to Love, reminds us that our deepest fear often is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. And remembering that we are an individualized expression of that infinite power whose nature is love, to give of itself, through itself, by means of itself, which is you and me, then just the very power that we have because of that oftentimes creates fear within us. And yet you and I know that by leaning into the power, letting love be the guiding force and not fear, that we've accomplished things in life that has oftentimes been far beyond what we thought were possible. And yet what a great example to be able to look back at our own individual lives as an example of what is possible in life. And so today I invite each of us on this day of November 29th in the year 2020 to choose to let go of fear and to embrace love in a new way. To let the lyrics of Shira's song be an example to us that our choice in life is to keep right on the tip of our ability to think and express our divinity, that to remember that today, right where I am is where I'm supposed to be. And it's in this place that I, the expression of the divine, gets to choose how to use the energy of life. That the energy of life that is within us and beyond us is transcendent of any experience, of any virus, of any pandemic, of any stay-at-home precautions or restrictions, or anything that is going on in the exterior world, because we have within us the ability to transcend those through our thinking. Because every single thing in life around us is made up of energy. And to attract life-affirming or positive things in our life, we do that by beginning to give off or to give the energy of that which we desire to experience. I love this animated graphic on the screen because it gives us an example, a reminder of the vibrational frequency of the energy that exists within our body. And that at all times that is emanating from us. And so you and I get to choose to make a decision as to what that emanation is. The great philosopher Marcus Aurelius of the 2nd century, meaning he lived from 121 to 180 AD, tells us that very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. He's reminding us, and knew this from way, way back, that we already have within us, separate from any experience or physical manifestation, the ability to make a happy life. And so then we're here and called to be the energy that we want to attract in our world. Whether that's peace or power or beauty or joy or light or life or love or wisdom. To become the very thing that we seek to experience. And the only way that we can experience that is by expressing it. I know personally for myself, and many of you have heard that's the story, and I'm not going to tell the long story, but this was such an eye-opening experience for me in life when I went to a workshop by the Reverend Joyce Reynolds, who was known as the motivator of 1 or 1,000. And she said, and this was in probably 1987, that if you want to have a great friend in life, you needed to become that friend. If you wanted to have a great lover in life, become that great lover. If you wanted to have peace of mind, become the peace of mind. And we've learned already in this month that the way to begin that first and foremost, as we just celebrated this last Thursday in our country, is through gratitude. Our theme this month is gratitude, a way of life. And as we end this month by choosing to live with gratitude as a way of life, and to remember as we started this month to have more gratitude and less attitude, that in that very choice of choosing to be grateful for the opportunity to be in the right place at the right time in this very moment, awake, alert, and alive to the possibilities of being happy, and that happiness is already within us, then we can begin anew on our own personal journey of finding self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening, to be the energy that we desire to experience. We learned earlier this month as well that through the vibrational frequency and the map of consciousness that has been developed by Dr. David Hawkins, that gratitude in and of itself vibrates at a frequency as close to our divine nature as possible. And so by expressing gratitude, we're already creating this field of energy around us that is reflecting our divinity. And because we live in a universe governed by spiritual law and attract back into our world a reflection of the thing that we choose to be, then simply by expressing gratitude alone, we begin to attract back to us our divine nature. But let's also look at the building blocks to that consciousness of appreciation. It's steeped in 500 of love, as we see 500 really that turning point on the evolution of the individual in consciousness, of building a foundation of living from your divinity as one expresses their humanity. So there's love, which you addressed earlier, joy as a state of mind, peace, we also have addressed earlier in our service so far. Remembering that peace, the vibrational frequency of peace, is living in a state of mind with purposeful energy and using that energy in a way to activate conscious evolution being the objective. And that objective is to live as a divine being and to see and experience and be cause to everything that comes into our life as a reflection of the divinity that already exists which means then the oneness of life as it is. And so how do we do that? We do it by remembering that we can change indeed the world. The physical world, absolutely. The world at large, absolutely. But also the simple world of our own experience and reality. For change is always happening. And the quote on the screen tells us that the one thing in life that never changes is change, so people say. But in reality, we all experience a struggle between accepting change and resisting it, trying to make things different and yet feeling an anxious need to keep things the same. That the struggle between trying to keep things the same and embracing change and this consistency of change is what makes personal change so difficult. Today, I invite each of us to let go of this notion that change or struggle is necessary in life. That you and I have the opportunity before us in this moment to live more in a state of happiness, completely separate from the outside world, and then to choose to be happy, even though what's going on in the outside world seems to be based in struggle, contradiction, and that which isn't divine. But yet the spiritual truth of our teaching is that it either is all God, it either is all good, it either is all life, it either is all oneness, or it isn't. And the spiritual truth is that it is. But for you and I to get to experience it by expressing it, it's important for us to remember and to remind ourselves the role that we play in the co-creation of changing our own personal world. Abraham Hicks tells us the way that we begin that is to remember that I can always reach for a thought that feels better. And then to remember that thoughts become things. If you see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. So today, what is it that you would like to hold in your hand in a way that hasn't existed prior to this moment? That is a reflection of your understanding and acceptance of who you are as a divine being and a co-creator of your reality. Well, the way to begin is to be willing to see things anew. In a counseling session recently with a client, I was reminding them and asking them, who was steeped in the struggle of this continuation of the way life had been. And I asked this individual, do you think it's possible that you, the individual, could be willing to see things differently? And there was this ongoing dialogue of, well, things can't be different. And I said, I'm not asking you if that's true for you, of things being different. I'm asking you, are you open to the possibility of even seeing things in a new way? And there became a yes to that. And that is what Marianne Williamson is telling us from her book, Tears to Triumph, in this statement. That our prayer shall be, dear God, I'm willing to see this differently, is the most powerful prayer for miraculous transformation. To be willing to let go, just as we were told through Shira's lyrics, to be open. Just to simply be open, to see things anew. But then as awakened metaphysicians, to then move beyond that is to not only just be open to doing that, but to understand the role that we play in the co-creation of the experiences that we get to have. Now, the God that we're speaking of in this prayer by Marianne Williamson, as stated on the screen, is a God of absolute subjectivity that underlies existence and the capacity for awareness. This power is beyond all time, place, or human characteristics. I wanted to remind us of that because the power that we affirm as dear God is a power that is impersonal, as I've stated before. It's omniscient, meaning that it's everywhere. It's all-knowing. It's infinite by nature. It's not some old ideology of a man or a person or an individual sitting up in the sky dispensing judgment on us. It is that which is judgmentless because it doesn't have the characteristics to be judgment. It is just simply a force of energy that is the creator of life itself. And it is individualized by means of you and by means of me, and we get to experience and express it by means of our thoughts, our beliefs, our actions, our reactions, our interactions with life itself. I know that we've all heard me say that time and time and time and time again. But I'll speak for myself. I think that I personally can't hear that too often because the simple reminder resonates in consciousness as a spiritual truth and provides for us a state of mind, a state of awareness to then participate in the change that we desire to see before us or hold in our hand. And so, how do we do that? Well, we do that by freeing our mind. I think of that wonderful song by In Vogue of free your mind and the rest will follow. And today, that's what I would like for us to begin to do, to free our mind of anything within us that is steeped in fear. To make a commitment and a covenant and a choice to walk away from anything in mind that is preventing us from choosing love as the basis from which we engage in life. I've shared with you all before a song that I listen to a lot by Eddie Watkins called I Walk Away. You've heard these lyrics before, many of you. If not, today is your first time. But I'm going to share them with us again today because it too, like the reminder of who we are as a co-creative being, reminds us of the choices that we can make to invoke change. And that we can walk away from that what was, just as Shira did in the lyrics to her song, and open ourselves up to walk towards the very thing that we desire to be and express and experience. And the lyrics are these: I walk away. Every morning the light keeps getting brighter as I wake up to the truth. And every day I'm feeling so much lighter and the world seems fresh and new. What I was taught and the way I thought stopped serving me long ago. For now I'm learning to trust in the God of all of us. For each day I start anew. So I'm walking away from the thinking that held me so long. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the path that led me to confusion. For today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the path that led to such sadness. For today is the day I walk away. Every day I walk away. For each morning brings a new beginning. By grace another day to be. I awaken to the sun upon me shining, lighting the way for me to see. All things I sought and the way that I thought stopped serving me long ago. For now I'm trusting in the God of all of us. In yesterday, I'm letting go. I'm walking away from the thinking that held me for so long. For today is the day I walk away. I'm walking from the path that led me to confusion. For today is the day I walk away. I'm walking from the less than that held me for so long. For today is the day I walk away. I want to remind us all that no matter where we are on the journey of finding personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening, that should we choose to be on this journey of conscious evolution, that what is required of us is to walk away and to open up to a greater awareness of who we are. And sometimes that greater awareness, just simply the awareness of our awareness. And that everything around us, as it shows us on the screen, is made up of energy. And that we can use that energy in a way by letting go of what was and opening ourselves up to align to the very thing that is. In Eastern philosophy, that's often talked about by aligning our chakras, those wheelhouses of energy within us. It shows us on the screen how that can be done. And even if one doesn't believe in the chakras themselves, it's a great example of just simply lining our energy up with the energy of life itself, beginning at the top of our head and moving through our root. And letting it just be a physical reminder of this interconnectedness, if you will, of a golden cord of life that runs through our physicality. And that energy is both beyond our being and the very thing that gives life to our being. And that you and I get to choose how to use that golden cord of life, if you will, to invoke change on our planet. I love this collection of energetic visuals on the screen, and the one that says pause, be still, go within, go deep. And then to repeat that pattern, to pause, be still, go within, and go deep. And to be willing, to be open, to tap into that energy of transformation. For that to happen, it's important for us to remember who we are. The question on the screen asks us, can you remember who you were before the world told you who you should be? And if your answer is no, know that deep within, you do remember. And to get still and to allow it to show up. For Chief Seattle tells us on the screen that when you know who you are, when your mission is clear, and you burn with the inner fire of unbreakable will, no cold can touch your heart, no deluge can dampen your purpose. You know that you are alive. Well, who are you in that place of remembrance? Ernest Holmes tells us this in the book, The Science of Mind, that each being, an individual entity in mind, is known by the name he bears and by the vibration which he emanates, for which we all are in one mind or spirit. Each has a separate and individualized personality. According to the unity of mind, thought is everywhere present, and so long as it persists, it will remain present. What is known in one place may be known in all places. Time, space, and obstructions are unknown to mind and thought. It follows that anyone tuning into our thought will enter into our stream of consciousness, no matter where we are and no matter where we may be. He's telling us that this thought that we have connects you and I to that impenetrable power that is within us of life itself. And so today, let's make a covenant and a commitment together to remember who we are as this mind of the divine and this expression of it. To remember that our mission is to simply remember that and to allow ourselves to burn with the fire of unbreakable will. To remember that we are indeed alive. And to remember that every single thing is within our power, and our power is within each of us. As stated on the screen, everything is within your power, and your power is within you. And to remember that every single second is an opportunity to change your life, because in any moment you can change the way you feel. And to remember that what you think, you create. What you feel, you attract. And what you imagine, you become. I affirm for each one of us that we remember today that what we desire to become, we do so by changing our thinking, living in gratitude, and changing our life. The world outside is most unique, to say the least. I love this fun little graphic on the screen that shows in 2019, and when our pets come up to us with the cone of shame on, that we said to them, stop complaining, you need to keep it on, it's for your own good. That's the same today with a mask. And I love the little doggy looking at the human, saying to the human, stop complaining, you need to keep it on, It's for your own good. What this is telling us and reminding us is that yes, the outer world is certainly challenging right now. But let's remember, as we change our thinking, we change our life, and it's for our own good. So just as we began today with Shira telling us that usually we know when something's good about to happen, for usually we can tell by the curling of our toes that we let this feeling wash over us and hold on to the tail of the flyaway bird. It's almost time to cut the cord. That usually I know when something's good about to happen. And something good is indeed about to happen. It's you and it's me living our full life. Thank you. Namaste. And so it is. And so to carry us further in song, I'd like to welcome back Shira to the screen.
There's a bright side somewhere. There's a bright side somewhere. Ain't gonna rest now till I find it. There's a bright side somewhere. There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. Ain't gonna rest now till I find it. There is more love today. And there is more peace somewhere. There is more peace somewhere. Ain't gonna rest now till I find it. There is more peace today. And there is more grace somewhere. There is more grace and more peace and more love. Ain't gonna rest now till I find it. There is more love and more hope today. There's a bright side somewhere. There's a bright side somewhere. Ain't gonna rest now till I find it. There's a bright side somewhere.
Oh, Shira, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Your energy, as I said before, is just so pure. You teach metaphysics through the lyrics of your songs. So if you're not aware of that, I'm speaking that in truth to you. And your whole essence and your music and the lyrics and all of it is just so soothing while being inspirational. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So if you ever forget that, remember that I shared that with you and I told you that. So,
Thank you.
and I know that as a community, we all honor the light within you as well. So thank you so much. And
Thank you so much.
yes, you're welcome. So enjoy the rest of your evening in Barcelona, Spain. So now is the time in our service for conscious giving. And I'd like to begin by just saying thank you to each and every one of you for being here today and for joining us both in technology, but more importantly in consciousness of being a change and a catalyst for good in the world itself and by choosing to let it begin with each one of us. We are a community that both thrives and survives through the conscious giving of our community. And so we'd like to provide you with that opportunity right now, and you'll see on the screen the different manners in which that can be done. You can go to our website, which is csl-la.org, and click on Donate, or the app in the App Store, which will guide you through that as well by clicking on the upper left bars, and the screen will come up and you'll see the Donate tab, or you can mail in a check. Our address for our physical location is 1200 North La Brea Avenue, West Hollywood, California, 90038, or my phone number is on the screen if you'd like for me to facilitate, for you privately. You can do that as well. You can also find all these options on our website and our weekly e-newsletter. And so as we each take a moment to do that, Yaron will take us through our conscious giving song. Yaron?
Love is my decision. It's up to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, source will show me how. Love is my decision. My decision right here, right now.
And so I affirm for each one of us that we are conscious participants in the propagation of good on this planet, that love, the self-givingness of spirit, whose desire in life is to give more of itself out of itself, does so by means of you, by means of me today. And that we're all the better for it. And that we use the law of life with purpose and intention, and with a deep sense of gratitude for the opportunity to be a propagation of good, knowing that the very thing that we extend and give returns to us multiplied abundantly. And so it is. Thank you, Yaron. As we wrap up this week of gratitude, a big thank you to each one of you once again for being a participant in the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles. We'd like to encourage you to invite your friends and family to join us either live on Sunday mornings, or know that you can see our Sunday morning service later, starting on Monday, sometimes Tuesday, on our YouTube channel. All that information can be accessed through our website. In that sense, you can find other information on our website. That address, once again, is CSL-LA.org. There's a newsletter that goes out the beginning of every week. Feel free to sign up for that if you haven't. You can find that information on our website, as well as you can, that also shares with you what's going on in our community, has an article each week, as well as an affirmative prayer, which is what you've heard me do twice already today, as well as access to our practitioners. A practitioner is an individual who is trained and licensed to work with the individual who would like to tend to anything going on in their mind, and that they would like to address that from a spiritual perspective. So you can avail yourself of those individuals and set up an appointment with them. That information is both on our website, on our app, as well as in our weekly e-newsletter. I'd like to give a shout out and a thank you to our musician today, Shira Averbuch, who was with us from Barcelona. As I've said several times, I just love the fact that she took the time to be with us today and share her light. Thank you, Shira. A huge thank you to Yaron Spiwak, who not only booked and introduced us to Shira, but the work that he did this week to get all of that organized and up and running, as well as the other great things that you share with us, Yaron. As well as a huge thank you to Travis Smith and Robert Hensley for both managing our audio and our technology here, so that we may be able to provide this service online. A big thank you to all of you that have joined us through Facebook Live today, and know that you are a vital piece of the mosaic known as the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles, as well as each of you that have joined us on Zoom. And a big shout out and thank you to those that watch us at a later date on our YouTube channel. I'd like to remind you that on December 18th, we have a concert. Our holiday concert will take place, and more information to come regarding that. And with that, we will wrap up our time together today by in meditation and affirmative prayer. After that, we will say goodbye and disconnect to our Facebook community that's joining us, and we'll give the opportunity for our Zoom followers to say a quick hello to each other before we move on. With that, let's move into meditation. Sorry, there is some challenge going on with my music today, so give me just 1 second. There we go. Thank you for your patience in that. So I invite us all to be still and to be calm. And to go within and to go deep. And to trust. That in this place there is remembrance. The remembrance of who we are. Our spiritual truth before the world told us what it wanted us to be. And so the very thing that we each are is that pureness of love. It's peace and power. It's beauty and joy. It's light, life, and wisdom. And so we let these qualities of this spiritual identity of who we are, be the guide as we move forward. Choosing to emanate and to give and to express this truth. And seeing it move around the world and out into the universe as a vibrational frequency of good being propagated. And then returning back to us. Infusing our being, beginning at the crown of our head, showing up as a golden cord of life. Moving through every element of our body, reminding us of the source of this life. And so as we walk away from any thinking that isn't serving us, we open up and give ourselves permission to walk towards and as the light, choosing love. And then choosing love. And then choosing love. And then let it be, as we say together, amen, and so it is.